Hello and welcome back to KXAN Plus. Thanks so much for joining us. We're back with another traffic update with our What's Driving You Crazy KXAN Plus show. This is a new show that we have started. Erica Brennes, our traffic anchor, is here today to help us with What's Driving You Crazy. Erica, what has been driving you crazy?
Very specifically, what's driving you crazy on your drive.
Yes.
Although I would love, nothing more than to hear all the things driving you crazy. I know. Yeah, I'm excited to have another installation. And I actually have a really fun update that I'm going to share with you that came after one of my What's Driving You Crazy reports that I did back in May.
Wow.
So I'm excited to share that with everyone.
Yeah, we'd love to hear follow-ups and
Yeah.
how your reporting changes what's driving everyone crazy on the road. Before we get into it, this is a new franchise show that we have here on KXAN Plus. So could you give us a brief explanation as to what our viewers can expect from What's Driving You Crazy?
So the What's Driving You Crazy on Your Drive was born out of, submissions we get about not necessarily little issues, but, big to you, but maybe not impacting the entire city or town in which you live when it comes to frustrations on the roadways. So it could be an issue with a traffic light. It could be an issue with an intersection, a crosswalk, a bike lane, whatever it may be that's just driving you crazy on your drive. That's really where it came from. And so it's all about letting us know. We can reach out to the city or the county or TxDOT or whoever it is that's in charge of that. And you would be surprised at how quickly some of these things
get fixed.
Yes. Even we had an email from someone in Smithville the other day.
Wow.
It looked like they were doing some repaving work based on the photos that were submitted. Literally, I reached out to TxDOT, and then they got back to me, and the woman who originally submitted it got back to me, and she said, okay, magically it just got fixed. I'm like, yeah.
Was it magic?
Sometimes you just have to bring it to their attention, and they, meaning the city, the county, TxDOT, whoever it might be, and sometimes we can make some headway in some of these little
situations.
Headaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we are not talking about headaches or things giving you headaches that are just part of your everyday life. It is strictly traffic.
Yeah.
So please just send us those traffic tips. Send them to Erica if you have them.
Yeah.
And it's also important to remember you can always call 311 too before anything.
Yeah. If you want to follow me on, and I'll have my social media info at the end of this, but you can also even just write, report it at KXAN.com, and then in the subject, just flag it, what's driving you crazy, or like for Erica or something, just to get my attention.
Yeah, something specific to our show so that we know that's a tip for our live stream. Well, let's get into it, Erica. We have a couple topics today, and that's just how the flow of our shows are going to go. It's not always just one situation we're going to highlight. We have a plethora of things.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to transportation. So I will tackle two today. But again, even just recently, there's a report from the Texas A&M Transportation Institute about Fridays or Mondays being the quietest day on the road. And I'm like,
no.
Fridays also can be kind of quiet. Well, when you look at that compared to the drive on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, it is very different. But it's just all interesting. But let's start with this, because last week, on Friday, November 7th, the state of Texas met a very grim milestone. And that is that every single day since November 7th of the year 2000, there has been at least one deadly crash on the road in Austin.
Which road specifically?
Any of them.
Any road?
Any road in Texas. There has been at least one person who has died in Texas from a car crash every single day since 2000. So 25 years.
Wow.
Someone has died every day. And so the Texas Department of Transportation, along with the Department of Public Safety, they held a candlelight vigil and a moment to acknowledge that number comes to 91,000 people. So obviously there's going to be days where only one person is killed. There's going to be days where many people. And over the last 25 years, that has added up to 91,000 people, which is really significant when you think about those lives that have tragically been lost as a result of a myriad of issues that we face when we get behind the wheel. Distracted driving, intoxicated driving, speeding, um, road rage. I mean, whatever it
Mhm.
might be that leads to a crash. I mean, I just thought,
Or texting and driving.
yeah,
Yeah.
distracted driving and speed are two of the top reasons why we have crashes. And I think one thing that's really interesting, at least from my perspective, is that, um, and it's kind of, twisted to think about it, but if you get in a crash going 30, and someone pointed this out to me years ago, and I was doing a pedestrian safety story, and they said, if you hit someone going 25 miles per hour, the odds of their injuries being life-threatening or deadly are lower than if you hit someone at 35 miles per hour or 45
45
or
or
55. And the same goes for crashes. And so I think there's a point in life where something shifts. And I think, people always kind of clown on older drivers driving slower. And I'm like, I think it's because you realize the gravity of life and you have somewhere to be. Other people have somewhere to be with friends, with family, with children, with moms, with dads, with aunts and uncles and spouses and loved ones. Like you just, for me, it was the first time I had my first daughter. And I remember thinking I was nursing her still. She was a little baby. And if I would run an errand, I would think, oh my God, I've got to drive so carefully because I am her food supply. Like I've got to get home safely.
yeah.
And so when you think about that, like everyone on the road is going through something, right? Everyone is someone to somebody.
Or they're heading to someone or to
Exactly.
somewhere with
They've
people.
got to get somewhere.
Mhm.
And when you think about like you can only do so much, right, to control your own behavior, but you're also at the mercy of everyone else on the road. So seeing this as a collective effort to try to arrive safely really is a community issue. It's a statewide issue. It's a county issue. It's a city. It's everything.
It's a human issue, right?
It's a human issue. And
Everyone goes through it
humans can be mean,
and make
to each
mistakes.
other
Yeah.
and selfish. I mean, and I don't know if you've experienced road rage incidents, people who are riding your tail,
Yeah.
zipping past you,
Cutting
and
you off.
yeah. honking because you're not taking a right turn on red because you're in the middle of a school zone.
Or because you stopped at a yellow light.
I mean, it is wild out there. Last week I was driving with my daughter home from a dentist appointment, and we went through this back neighborhood to get to where we live. It's one of the ways you can get there, and the speed limit was 25. So I'm going 25.
Mhm.
There's also cars parked on the thing. There's crosswalks.
Stop signs.
There was a woman behind me, literally driving, like right behind me. We drove past a school zone. We drove past a school, and I'm like, what could be going on that you have? Imagine how much your life would change if a child darted out in front of you.
Yeah.
And because you were going a little too fast, you weren't able to stop, and that child died. I mean, just think about like all of these things, and that's really what it's going to take to make these numbers go down, to have a day in the state of Texas where somebody didn't die on the road.
We want to see it, but it takes effort from
Yeah.
everyone to make that happen. And like you mentioned, everyone is going so fast, driving so fast, they're thinking of other things. It's time that we sit back and realize
Take a
there's
breath.
so much time in this world, in our
Yeah.
life. Just take things slow.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think, something changes in people's lives. And I think as you get older, you feel less invincible. I once did a story with these two doctors who have been with the University of Texas. They have a podcast called Two Guys on Your Head. And we talked, and I reached out to them about the thought process behind speeding. And they said the issue is that 99% of the time, a lot of us are going over the speed limit and nothing happens.
Yeah.
So it's a statistics game, right? If every time you got behind the car and you sped, you got a ticket or you got your car towed or whatever, you got into a crash, no one would speed. But that most of the time you get behind the wheel, you I go 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. Listen, I do it. I drive to work at 3, 4 in the morning. There's no one out there on the road. Full disclosure, I'm going 70 on Mopac sometimes. The speed
Wow.
limit is 65, okay? Like,
Yeah.
but
It's common. A lot of people do that.
And the
even
problem is
during
then
busy times.
right, and that's the issue. They don't slow down when there is a bunch of traffic on the roadway, you know? So everyone does it. Everyone does little things that they're not supposed to do, and most of the time there are zero consequences until there are. And so that's just something to think about. I loved having that conversation with those two doctors about, you know, the decisions behind why we do what we do. But I wanted to tell our audience about that and really dig deep into it about just the gravity of that. I mean, November 7th, 2000, that was the last day someone didn't die on the road in Texas.
Wow.
How about that? So
someone didn't die on the road.
That was the last time there was a day where nobody died on the road in Texas.
Very,
and since then,
sad.
someone has died every single day, up to 91,000 people.
And it's up to us to make this change. So
yeah, and obviously law enforcement, they're looking out, but there's way more people than there are law enforcement officers that, you know, that
Can
have
help.
to patrol the roads. So, yeah.
And 91,000 lives lost in just over 25 years.
I know.
That
It's
is
so sad.
a tragic number.
Yeah. At their candlelight vigil at the Capitol on Friday, TxDOT had and DPS had some of the victims, the family members of those lives that were lost. And, you know, the families just do what they can to share
Spread
their
awareness.
stories and raise awareness and hope, you know, it sinks in. Yeah. Okay. I know. A little bit of a Debbie Downer there. So,
But you did say you brought us one good and
I
one
have a good story
bad
that I want to share. Okay. So in May, I did a story about the intersection of Burleson Road and Emma Browning.
Yeah.
And that is on the south side of the airport. So if you look at my
It's
map.
bigger and see if we can make it.
Yeah.
So we can
So
see
there's
it.
the airport. And then at the bottom, so you have 183, you have FM 973. At the top, you have Highway 71. But down there below that thumbs up is Burleson Road. And so in May, I heard from an air traffic controller named Clinton Kidwell. And he wanted to share how he was so frustrated that there was no left turn signal from Burleson, headed eastbound, to northbound Emma Browning to get to the air traffic control.
Wow.
And he got into air traffic control in 1973. He was in the military.
And it still wasn't there?
And, well, back then, I don't even know that Burleson was, if it was,
A
it was a
road.
2-lane teeny tiny road. But no, he started his career after he transitioned out of the military at what was the old Austin airport, not at this current location, but and now he's at this new. He's retired. He is not a full-time air traffic controller. He is a contractor and does training and stuff. But and he said, if I want to leave a legacy, and if there's anything I do before my time on this earth comes to a close, it's that I want a protected left turn lane from eastbound Burleson onto northbound Emma Browning. And guess what?
He got it.
He made it happen.
That is a great legacy to leave behind.
Yeah.
Safety for your
Safety.
fellow coworkers.
And he said, I do, and my colleagues, my fellow air traffic controllers, we spend our lives making sure everyone is safe in the sky. I hope this is one little successful thing that keeps people safe on the ground. And the thing is, the airport is under construction.
All the time.
Well, and very much so. They're expanding the south terminal. The airport is going to look really different 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And that is the main entrance for construction vehicles. So, I mean, I stood out there at that intersection. It is so busy, and these big trucks are plowing through. They're turning onto Emma Browning to get to that backside, and that's a lot of airport employees are entering there. That's where you enter also if you're flying private.
Interesting.
And it's only gotten busier and busier with all the growth in that part of town and at the airport. And so what happened, and this is part of this, what's driving you crazy on your drive. He did everything right. He reached out to 311, the city, the county, anyone who would listen, and then he reached out to us. And so when I reached out to the city after he reported this, they said, we do see his 311 report.
Yeah.
And actually, it will be added to the fiscal year 2026, which starts in October. And look at that.
It's there.
Right away in October, they got it done. So now it's early November, and we were able to do that story, that follow-up story. So
That's awesome.
it was great. It was great to, go down there and see that protected left turn and bring a little bit of good news. And, depending on when you, the viewer, watches this, we're still in the middle of a government shutdown.
Yeah.
And I said, is this a little bit of good news? I know it's really hard right now to be an air traffic controller. And he said, listen, it really is. Every little bit of good news counts right now. And hey, if we can turn into work a little bit safer, that's a good day.
If we can make it to work in one piece.
Make it to work safely. I know. So that is the mission behind the What's Driving You Crazy on Your Drive. Not everything will change that quickly. I think he did everything right again with reporting it through reporting through all the channels.
All the steps that you have to take.
The city's saying, oh yeah, this, and that's, I think, what's also really cool is that the city really will listen when they can. It doesn't always happen this quickly, but when it does, it sure is nice.
And you shared previously that the city is the people who are taking control of these streets and kind of managing them don't know all the issues. This is a huge city, and they probably don't drive all the roads on their daily lives.
Exactly.
So it's up to us to bring up
do.
that. I know. None of us do.
Yeah.
We all have our own routes home and to work, and maybe yours is a little
Flag
bit more.
it. I think you can either call, you can email, you'll get a response back. I've done it. The light at 15th and West Avenue drives me crazy every day at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's so interesting because I have seen them change the timing of the light, and then it's like something happens and it goes back. So I'm like, I need to call again.
Somebody needs to keep an eye on this.
So I know. And I know it seems silly, but it's these little moments of success that sort of, I don't know, like makes you kind of giddy. Like I did that. And it's so cute. The air traffic controllers that work with Clinton, he said they want to change. There's a name, there's an airport, or there's a
Boulevard
street name
or something.
Back in the back, and it's called like air. I could look up what it's called. Let me while I'm finishing, I'll look it up. They said we need to get the street name changed to Clinton Kidwell Lane.
That is so cute.
And so Clinton said, I'm gonna pay for it, and we're gonna submit to have, what is it called?
The name
Aircraft
changed.
Lane. Aircraft Lane. He wants it changed to Clinton Kidwell Lane. So we'll see if that happens. Maybe that'll be my next update. I know, isn't that cute?
Yeah, he made a difference on the safetiness of the roads by the airport, so I think he deserves it.
I know. It's so cute. I was like tickled. And then here, by the way, this is my social media. I play most on Instagram, but you can, and that's another honestly great. If anyone's still watching, thank you. I know I can chat a lot, but even this morning, which we're recording this on Tuesday, November 11th. There was a major crash on I-35 near Riverside Drive. Also, we had Congress closed for the Veterans Day Parade, both of which I talked about on my Instagram stories. So, and which they go over onto Facebook stories as well. So as long as you're following me on those, if there is a major incident, I'll let you know about it. So yeah, that's and then you can report your traffic troubles to me.
Yes, send Erica any information, anything that's driving you crazy.
And if you see something you want to report, just a crash or something like that, you would be surprised. There's just as many roads. It's just like even on a daily basis, keeping track of all of the incidents. Yeah. The traffic lights that go out. Sometimes a traffic light will go out on 2222, and it messes everything up.
Or there's debris on the road. Ruins
a
like
spill,
a
something. You never know. So I love to hear from y'all, and you can send in pictures or videos, and I'm able to, share them like on my social media, and then anyway, I'm always
here we can share them here on KXAN Plus.
Yep.
Well, thank you, Erica. We have that article that you wrote up here about the vigil.
Yeah, and Clinton's story is up there as well. So, there's a lot of traffic news out there, y'all.
There is.
So we do our best to cover it all, and I can obviously chit-chat a lot about traffic. So
keep us informed.
Sometimes you have to say, okay,
You know, something that's been driving me crazy is
Yeah.
this road behind our studio,
Hmm.
that back road near our back parking lot.
Okay.
It's
San
horrible.
Antonio? Is that
I
what we're
think
up
so.
against? Let me
It's
look.
the road is just the conditions on the road. There's holes everywhere, and that's the road I come in through and come out through.
San Gabriel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I'm gonna put a 311 for
I know.
that.
You should. You might as well. Yes. And it's hard because these streets get paved and then like the weather has a big impact on streets. It's not just, vehicle traffic, but freezes and floods and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
That will expand the concrete underneath. So it's sometimes they need to be repaved. They need a little
Little
TLC.
patching up,
Yeah,
and
I
they're
get
good to
it.
go.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Erica, and we will see you next week with another What's Driving You Crazy.
Awesome. Bye, y'all.